And we are live for actually the second time tonight, where on the first try we had some audio problems. So I'm hoping that we're good. I'm hoping that we're good right now. Are we good? If you're watching right now, let me know if we're good in terms of the audio though. Because first time around, it was atrocious. I don't know what happened, but there might have been some software update on the streaming side of things, and the input that I had, it wasn't, compatible and all that good stuff. So, yeah. So if you're watching right now, please talk to me. Let me know. Let me know if we're good. Let me know if we're good. Come on, guys. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know if we are ready for liftoff, and we are actually doing a lot better than we did when we first started the stream. I said we will come back and we will do things again, and we are here. We are here. We are here. So talk to me. Waiting for somebody to talk to me. If you're watching right now, talk to me, man. Let me know how the audio sounds, because I don't really want to, tune into the stream and there's a feedback and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're watching, let me know if we have liftoff in terms of the audio and everything sounds the way it's supposed to sound, or at least close to the way it sounded before. So talk to me, man. Talk to me, guys. Talk to me. This is match week 23 roundup of the English Premier League, and I had planned to do a longish kind of live stream tonight, but it's getting late, so we do have to still do something. We do have to talk about the matches that were played over the weekend. So if you're watching right now live, let me know how the audio sounds. Still waiting for a test, waiting for some feedback. Waiting for some feedback from anybody who's watching right now. Any of my subs, any of the loyals, leaving me hanging here. Drew P, how does it sound, man? Does it sound okay? Does it sound good? How we sound? How we sound? How we sound? Let me know. Let me know if it sounds good. Let me know if it sounds acceptable. You know what I mean? Let me know what's going on with the stream. Let me know if you're hearing me clearly. We had some audio issues before, so if you're watching the replay right now, just bear with us. All right, so Juppy said we're good and we're ready for liftoff, okay? I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. It was very, very stressful, frustrating, annoying to deal with that audio problem earlier. It's crazy when you set something up and you've been doing it 22 weeks in a row, and then all of a sudden you run into a problem. It's like, God damn, here we go, man. So big up to Wade Nelson, who says good to go, and we are going to get into these Premier League matches. So let's go, man. Let's do this. Let us do this, man. We got a lot to talk about. Today's episode won't be a super, super long one, but we still have to do something in order to be consistent on a weekly basis. So we go to the results here, and the first result I want to talk about again is Watford 0, Norwich City 3. What a game where Watford started very brightly and Norwich grew into the match, scored in the 51st minute. Then there was a break in play where there was problems with the lights. They decided to go back on. So when you see the goal scored in the 51st and in the 74th minute, these goals were actually about 2 minutes apart in terms of the play. They had like a 20-minute break, 22-minute break or so in between the goals, but because it was a light issue, so there was a 15-minute add-on to the extra time. So yeah, I think it probably was 5 minutes between the goals in actuality. But you got to give it to Josh Sargent, man. Josh Sargent seems like he's finally coming of age. The previous game where Norwich actually won as well, Josh Sargent was heavily involved, and that was the win over Everton, where Rafa Benitez got sacked, and then this 3-0 win over Watford, where we had an own goal by Juraj Kuchka, Emmanuel Dennis sent off to make matters worse, and all this unfolded in front of the Putzer family, who were at the stadium, who witnessed a clear out in fans just leaving about 20 minutes before the end of the game. And you never want to see that, you know. So you see Timo Pukki there with the assists. Then you have Milot Rashica with the second assist as well. So it was a pretty good performance by Norwich after the early Watford dominance. And I think Watford were rather unlucky not to actually get something out of the game. But it is what it is, man. It's part of the sport. And, you know, sometimes you play well, you don't always get the result that you deserve. So with this result, you see Josh Sargent is the man of the match, and I think it's well deserved. And this result was actually a big result in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the managerial position here, because Claudio Ranieri was dismissed. And this is the second Watford manager to be dismissed this season, which is something that we've seen in the past with Watford, and it's not something new. So if we go back to the Premier League homepage here, we should see the article. But I've spoken about this match already, so this is just another touch-up so that we could do a complete review of all the games. And if we check the news here, we should find the article on Claudio Ranieri's dismissal. Seems like there's nothing on the Premier League website as yet. Seems like there's nothing. But if we do a quick Claudio Ranieri Google search, we would find out that Claudio Ranieri sacked by Watford after 10 defeats in 13 matches in charge. And that is absolutely poor. That is poor. I know we always criticize Watford for sacking their managers, but come on, guys. Come on. That deserved. This record deserves a sacking. I actually think, in my opinion, Xisco Munoz weren't doing a bad job with the team at all. And I think it was a little impulsive to sack Xisco Munoz and bring in Claudio Ranieri, which I think was a wrong decision. And he did get I think a win early on in his tenure, but it has just been a horrible run where 10 defeats in 13 matches, or you have 14 matches, maybe I think the FA Cup you have to throw in there as well. It ain't good. It have not been a good. It's deserved. The sacking is deserved, if you ask me. It is deserved. So as you see, Wade Nelson is saying, goodbye, Claudio. So how many sacking in the EPL so far? Wade Nelson is asking. I think it's 8. I think we are now up to 8 sackings this season already. And that's the most managers that have been sacked for a single season. I did some research on this before, and I did see that I think it was 6 was the most before, and now it's down to 7. So the way I like to judge and take a look at this and gauge it so I don't forget any teams, we take a look at the Premier League table here, right? City, no sacking. Liverpool, no sacking. Chelsea, no sacking. United sacked Solskjaer, right? That's 1. West Ham, no sacking. Arsenal, no sacking. Tottenham sacked Nuno Espirito Santo. Wolves, okay. Brighton, okay. Leicester, okay. Aston Villa sacked Dean Smith. Southampton, fine. Palace, fine. Brentford, fine. Leeds, fine. And then you have the bottom teams. That's 5. You have Everton sacking Rafa. Norwich sacking Farker. Newcastle sacking Steve Bruce. Watford sacking 2 managers. So that's 8. 8 sackings this season already, which is absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. 8. Could there be more? Could there be more? I don't think there could be more sackings this season at all. But Claudio Ranieri did deserve the sack, if you ask me. He deserved the sack. Watford now in the relegation zone. 20 games played, 14 points. And Norwich City has their head above water for the first time in a very long time. I can't recall Norwich ever being out of the relegation zone this season. So well done by Dean Smith. Back-to-back games he's won for Norwich. And after a stellar November, he's back in January doing the business. Look, December was a month to forget for Norwich, but it seems like January is the month where they will look to hang on to their Premier League status. Guys, if you're watching the live stream, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. We'll definitely appreciate it. This is the second time we're trying this live stream tonight. We had some audio issues the first time around, and I know it wasn't hardware issues, and it had to be something to do with the way things were set up and the levels and everything because of some software update with StreamYard. I see StreamYard doing a bunch of stuff where they're adding a whole lot of features, so that may have thrown everything out of whack. I think that's what happened. I really think that's what happened. But it is okay. It is okay. Sometimes these things happen and we have to just adjust and come again. So, look, in terms of the table, as I mentioned, Watford in 19th, Norwich 17th. Big win for Norwich, 3-0. Look, before this game, Norwich only had 3 goals on the road, and now they add another 3. So they went in and doubled their money, and that's always a good thing to do. So that's it for that game. We are definitely going to move on to the next one. But before we do, for Watford, the next game, which will be under new manager, will be a 6-pointer against Burnley on February 5th. And then they do have West Ham on February 8th. I think the Burnley game might be a makeup match, if I'm not mistaken. But it's left to be seen how Watford fare in that game and who they actually appoint. I really don't know who they're going to appoint, but let's wait and see. And let's see if whoever comes in could save Watford from that dreadful drop. As for Norwich City, the next game will be a 4th round FA Cup fixture against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And then they have a team that they could actually beat in Crystal Palace. And they got Man City coming up February 12th. You know, City team you could get points off if you play well. Liverpool too. You could, so Norwich could definitely turn their form around where they have Southampton, Brentford, and Leeds United all coming up too. So 2 wins, a draw, 2 in between. Norwich could compete for their Premier League status where we have already basically doomed them to the championship. So we're going to move on to the next game. And the next game is Arsenal 0, Burnley 0. And that's the reason why I'm going with this match, because we don't have any goals to really talk about. But I have to say, I don't understand how Arsenal didn't win this game. I really don't. But you also have to give Burnley the credit for that defensive masterclass that they put out there. I'm telling you, a team depleted right now, Cornet at the AFCON, and they've just been dealing with injuries and COVID lately, and they haven't played in a while. And they really changed up the team. I think it's about 6 changes from the last Premier League game that was played. So they're coming into this game where you don't know what to expect. They're a bit rusty, or they might be well rested but rusty. And Nick Pope, Tarkowski, Ben Mee, they all put out a really good performance there to keep Arsenal at bay. But with all the opportunities that Arsenal created, they should have got one in the back of the net. I could recall Aaron Ramsdale getting tested in this game as well. Not on many occasions, but I could remember him pulling off a big save in the game. And Burnley, you got to give him credit, man. Arsenal with the percentage, 76% of the ball. 20 shots at goal, 5 on target. Burnley with 1 shot on target, that 1 shot where Ramsdale was tested. 10 shots at goal, only 24% of the ball. So they were defending for their lives. They were holding on for their life. And you got to commend Burnley for picking up a point in the situation that they're in right now. Because, look, relegation zone, bottom of the table, 18 games played, 12 points. They do have quite a bit of games in hand, but those games in hand must be won or drawn for them to actually make a difference. If you're going to lose a game in hand, you know, it doesn't help your cause whatsoever. So I got to say that was a really good defensive performance by Burnley. Sometimes that's what you need. And we know that Burnley, you know, synonymous with grit and determination and fight. Arsenal, I think they missed the trick here, dropping points against Burnley, where the teams around them, Man United, looking good. West Ham still ahead of them, but, you know, Arsenal do have games in hand. Tottenham sit on the same amount of points, do have a game in hand as well. And Wolves are coming up. Brighton are coming up right behind. So Arsenal, if they are to get that top 4 spot to get Champions League football or even Europa League football, these are the games that they must win. So I think they would rue the chances here, and they would actually be kicking themselves after not picking up all 3 points. And this game was at the Emirates as well. So, like, come on, man. Seriously. I expected an Arsenal win. I predicted an Arsenal win. And for it to end up being 0-0 was just a travesty in its own. So, look, man, they haven't really gone through a good period over the last few games. After that 5-0 drubbing against Norwich on Boxing Day, Arsenal's last 4-game read. 2-1 loss to City, a 1-0 loss in the FA Cup to Nottingham Forest, a 0-0 draw in the semi-final of the EFL Cup, the first leg, and a 2-0 loss in the second leg, and now a 0-0 draw. So this means Arsenal winless in their last 5 in all competitions, and their next game is against Wolverhampton Wanderers, a team that is very difficult to beat this season. So, look, I know Arsenal was depleted and they didn't have many midfield players to their disposal. We saw Odegaard dropping back a bit deeper like I did predict, and you had Holding playing in the starting 11 with Ben White playing at right back, which meant that Tomiyasu was out with illness or sickness, and the bench looked really light as well. So Arsenal depleted coming into the game, and look, you can't really blame that because they did go out there and I think they put out a performance that was worthy of a win, but in the final third just weren't clinical enough, and on other occasions Burnley was just too resilient for the Gunners. So look, a point apiece. I think Burnley, the happier the two teams, of course. Arsenal would feel that, they should have gotten all 3 points. So for the Gunners, in terms of the next game, they do have Wolves, as I mentioned, then Brentford and Watford in back-to-back London derbies there. Not the big London derbies, but London derbies nevertheless. Arsenal are 6th after 21 games played with 36 points. As for Burnley, also we have to just point out for Burnley that saw Connor Roberts started his first Premier League match as well at right back. So nice to see them integrate in some of the signings that they made. I think Burnley needs to strengthen their squad big time. They got to get somebody in this window before what? You have 7 days left. You have a week. I think Burnley, if they want to survive, they got to replace Chris Wood, man, because Ashley Barnes is injured right now. If they could bring in another striker to help their cause, because they're not scoring enough goals. Not at all. Not at all. For them, their next game will be against Watford in a 6-pointer. Then it doesn't get easy after that. They got Man United, Liverpool, Brighton, who are playing well this season. Crystal Palace, not bad. Chelsea. So, listen, it's an uphill climb for the Clarets. Indeed. But Arsenal, as I mentioned, disappointing performance at the end of the day. So that's my thoughts on that game. Let me know yours. I like to take the time to say big up to the boy OBOKK who says, hello, Dam, what's up? I'm happy both City and Nigeria drop points. I know why. Why? Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why Nigeria got knocked out of the African Cup of Nations. I want to know why. I really want to know why. But look, we are strapped for time because it's very late. It's almost 11 p.m. And this is the second time that I'm trying to live stream tonight, as I had some audio issues if you're joining right now. So make sure you smash up the thumbs up button, simply because your boy Dom is so determined and never give up, and just want to make things right and just want to be consistent and keep the stream coming. So big up to the boy, the Asian Sensational FC in the house. And I actually told him to call himself the Asian Sensation FC, and he said the Sensational. I don't know why. I guess he wanted to put his own spin on it. So, Steve, I don't know if you actually told people the story that I actually give you a name. You know what I mean? I don't know. You need to let people know. I name people around here. You guys are my sons, Steve. So big up to MVP Kev, back after the first stream. Look, Kev, how does it sound this time around? Dilda, how does it sound this time around, man? Guys, talk to me. Let me know if I'm in business. Let me know if I'm in business or if I'm slacking still. I don't know what happened first time around, but I hate when things like that happen when I'm streaming, though. You know, makes me nervous. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? I'm playing with wires. I'm plugging out everything. You know what I'm saying? Plugging it back. You know, but Kev said it sounds better. Yeah, it does sound better, but I don't know if it sounds as good as it sounded before. Like I listened back to the last stream that I did. I was like, damn, the audio sounds good. I think it's good. I think it's back to the way it was. I think it's really back to the way it was before. So, guys, before we do move on, don't forget today's stream is brought to you by the lovely folks over at manscaped.com, who are the best in men's grooming and do specialize in below the waist grooming as well. So head on over to the site, use the coupon code Dominic Rich to get yourself 20% off each and every one of your orders. Shipping is always free. Links in the description box down below. Trust me, your balls would thank you. Big up to the boy Ankit in the house. How are you doing, Ankit? Ankit, how does the audio sound to you? Does it sound like it usually do? Because, you know, I had some audio issues and now I'm all self-conscious about it. And I'm asking everybody, hey, man, how do I look? How do I look? Do I have a booger in my nose or what? How do I look? What's going on? So the next game that we're going to talk about is Everton 0, Aston Villa 1. The first game with Duncan Ferguson in charge as the interim manager. And we had one goal in this game where Emiliano Buendia scored a header in the 3rd minute of the first time, extra time, from a Lucadinha cross into the box. Oh, man, rubbed salt in the wound there. Lucadine, former Everton man, helping to beat his old team. And I you know, it might be a bittersweet moment for him because I think he was a committed player, but him and Rafa never got along, and, you know, player gotta go. Player wants to go. You see what I'm saying? So this game seems like a distant memory to me, but I gotta say that Aston Villa definitely outplayed Everton on the day. I don't know what. I really don't know what got into Everton, though. Maybe Rafa set up the team way too defensive and the players weren't really, you know, conforming to his his ideologies and his strategies and tactics, and just never worked out. They had a good start to the season, but I don't know, man. I don't know what really gotten into Everton. There was a lot of injuries and suspensions and COVID and all that stuff that hampered the team along the way. But still, man, that was a bad run, man. That was a bad run. I think Everton won like one game in 13. Everton and Watford were actually scrapping it out for who's the worst team in the Premier League across the last 15 games or so. So Ranieri sacked. Rafa sacked first. You know, some legendary managers getting the freaking axe here, man. I'm telling you. That's the Premier League for you, and that's how competitive it is in this day and age. So, look, Everton did get more shots on goal with 15, but only one on target. Had 49% of the ball. with Aston Villa 8 shots at goal, 3 on target, 51% of the ball. And the passing, okay, 361 passes with a 70% pass accuracy. So, look, I think Villa were the better team on the day, and they do deserve the win. As for Everton, they got to keep trying, man. They really got to keep trying. They're in a hole right now. As we like to say, they're in the mud right now, and it's going to take a whole lot to get him out. I think in the second half there, Anthony Gordon, when he was actually introduced, he really, helped Everton get back in the game, and they threatened on a few occasions, but were unlucky not to score. So Philip Coutinho wasn't able to really cast his spell on the game like he did against Manchester United. But one player I have to give a lot of credit to is Jacob Ramsey, man. Oh man, this guy is developing properly, I'm telling you. And if Villa is not careful, they're gonna lose him. Just want to put that out there, Villa. Just be careful though. Be careful. Look, there was a setback there for Abdoulaye Doucouré as he went off injured, and he was replaced by a youngster, Tyler Onyango. So Everton will be hoping that Onyango is one promising player coming through the academy that could help them this season, but it's left to be seen. So 3 points for Aston Villa, like I predicted. I didn't have any doubts really. Steven Gerrard against Everton. It's always going to be a feisty affair. Always going to be a game where Gerrard wants to win, and so he did. So Everton struggling really, really bad this season. Right now, Everton are in 16th with 19 points. If Norwich wins their next game and Everton fail to pick up any points, Norwich will be level on points with Everton. But of course, Norwich has a bad goal difference and have played more games. But still, Everton are getting dragged into the relegation scrap slowly and slowly. I don't want to say surely, because, with a win, they could say, put the gap 7 points. So 7-8 points. So I don't want to say surely, but they're getting in that region. And that's the reason why Rafa Benitez got the sack. So let's see who Everton will bring in as permanent manager. But for now, it's Duncan Ferguson. And he's going to try to have the team playing some attractive football. But the team is still in that Rafa Benitez mold where they're going to still play like they're under Benitez. It's going to take a couple games for them to get rid of that whole, psyche and come again. But Villa, man, very ambitious team, stacked up, a lot of signings, and I like what I see from Aston Villa, especially under Steven Gerrard. They are now 11th with 26 points, only 14 points off safety. I don't think they would be worrying about relegation this season, but what they'll want to accomplish is maybe getting back into Europe, even the Conference League, and even better, the Europa League. So that's my thoughts on this one. Don't want to go too far and drag it on, but Villa needed this win after going winless in their previous 3 games, and it's always good when you pick up a win on the road as well. So for Aston Villa, the next game will be against Leeds United, a feisty Leeds United, and they do have Newcastle and Watford, Brighton, Southampton. Aston Villa got a nice run of games, I have to say. I mentioned that in the last live stream, and I'm going to mention it again. This could be the period where Villa could actually really, really get up in the top 10 and put some pressure on the teams above them. So, look, for Everton, is it going to get easier for them, you may ask? Their next game is an FA Cup 4th round fixture against Brentford. Then they do have Newcastle, a team that's actually got their tails up right now and are hunting for points. So they're going to be hard to beat. Leeds are going to be tough. Southampton, we know, are going to be tough. But those games are also winnable for Everton. And then you have the big boys in City, Tottenham. You got Wolves. And I think Everton should be okay, but they have to pick up points. They really have to pick up points. I'm curious to see who they're going to bring in, though. So with that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts on this game. So Ankit is saying it sounds fine. Thank you very much, Ankit. Do appreciate it, man. Do appreciate it. I'm also out of water too. So I don't have any water down there like I usually have. This is all the water I have left. This. I'm gonna have to really ration this water though. I'm gonna have to ration the water. It's been a long day. I'm exhausted, but I think I got enough energy to get through this live stream. And we are gonna keep it moving. And we are gonna move on to the fourth match. Let's talk Brentford 1, Wolves 2. I did predict a win for Wolverhampton Wanderers as well. Let me actually pull out my book and make sure I got my predictions down pack here, man. My left arm feels rather weird this week. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah. So I didn't make any predictions for the Watford. I was gonna predict Watford to beat Norwich. A good thing I didn't predict that game. I did make the preview on Friday, so I didn't get to predict that game. But I predicted a 2-1 win for Villa over Everton. I predicted a 2-0 win for Wolves over Brentford as well. So good on me. Quality prediction. If you ask me, I did predict a win. So in this game, this was a good game. This was a really good game. I think Brentford rather unlucky not to get something from the match because they played well. They really played well, but Wolverhampton Wanderers, man, the defense was very, very tight on the day. Only one big lapse in concentration that cost them there with the Ivan Toney goal. But 0-0 at halftime, and I think that was a, true telling of the game. But that João Moutinho goal, oh my God. The link-up play between João Moutinho and Ruben, I always say Ruben. Nelson Semedo there, that 1-2, and that outside of the foot shot by João Moutinho, that was brilliant, man. That was absolutely brilliant. And I think that's back-to-back games where João Moutinho has now scored. So well done by the veteran. Really good goal, and you could see how much it meant to him, the way he celebrated that. So Wolves took the lead, and I think it was somewhat on merit. Even though both teams were in the game, I think Wolves looked the better of the two, and they were really threatening throughout. And we had another goal. We had another goal with Ivan Toney scoring the equalizer. Him at the far post, left Mbeumo with that ball into the box. Went over everybody, and Ivan Toney gratefully volleying it at the far post. Two scrumptious goals to open things there. And 7 minutes later, Brentford conceded another very good goal by Ruben Neves. Another outside of the box goal for Ruben Neves, where he has now scored 14 from outside the box, set up by João Moutinho, who definitely is the king of the match. Yep, João Felipe Iria Santos Moutinho. A lot of names, man. A lot of names. You see the Wolves players are happy. Jose Sa, who has been solid this season in goal. Connor Cody, the captain, pretty good as usual, ever present. Den Donker. I think Den Donker could step his game up. He misses a lot of chances when he do get the opportunity to score, but a solid player nevertheless. But Ruben Neves, though. Ruben Neves is a quality player. And I'm surprised that none of the bigger clubs really went in for him. You see what I'm saying? So let's keep an eye on the Ruben Neves situation for the upcoming summer, and let's see where he'll be playing his football in the next season. Maybe Man City, who knows? Replacement for Fernandinho, you never know. That'll be a good signing if you ask me. But Wolves would be wary of losing their best players to the bigger teams. You think Diego Jota, you know what I'm saying? And maybe Pedro Neto in the future when he gets back to full fitness. But this was a scrappy game. But I think Wolves played well. Brentford did too. And I think what actually really hampered Brentford in this game, before I actually forget to mention, it was the early collision in the match where they had to make substitutions very early in the game. So Rico Henry and Matthias Jensen collided with each other in around the 25th minute or so, and both players had to be substituted, which is absolutely crazy when you think about it. This is a match which was a weird one too, because I was telling myself not to forget to mention that the match was delayed by a drone. I wasn't actually watching this game live because I was watching another game while this one was going on. I think there was 3 games playing at the same time. And I'm telling you, I didn't actually get to see the drone, but it was a weird one. And then once I watched the replay, the highlights, and I'm like, what is going on here? 2 players injured at the same time. They injured, by colliding. And I'm pretty sure those were concussion substitutes made by Thomas Frank as well. And we have to mention that Thomas Frank got a red card, which means that he won't be on the touchline for the next game. So Brentford, I don't think, this is how they plan things to go, but they have the odds stacked up against them going. 4 matches now they have lost in a row. 4. They got to pull things back. They really got to pull things back. And it's not going to get easier where they do have Man City in their next Premier League game. Crystal Palace, Arsenal coming up. Arsenal, they did beat them already. But it was just a very, very unfortunate game there for Brentford, I got to say. So Shandon Baptiste did come on for the injured Matthias Jensen, and he was taken off later on in the game. Johan Wissa was brought on in the second half as well, but he didn't really, cast his spell over the match. We know he got some magic in him and wasn't able to do anything on the day. Marcus Forss, Simon Goudos was brought on. Thomas Frank basically threw the kitchen sink at it. Adama Traore came on in the 75th minute, did get a goal, but it was later chalked off. But on the day, at the end of the day, Wolverhampton Wanderers prevailed, and they've been in very, very, very good form lately, where in their last 5, they have gone unbeaten. And if I check back to how far they have gone without losing a game, you think 2-1 win over Brentford, 3-1 win over Southampton. And another thing, they're scoring goals now. They're really scoring goals, even in the absence of Raul Jimenez, who missed this game because of an injury. They got 3-0 in the FA Cup over Sheffield, a 1-0 win over Manchester United, 0-0 with Chelsea, 1-0 win over Brighton, and they have gone 6 games now without losing in all competitions before those back-to-back losses against both Liverpool and Manchester City. But, apart from that, Brentford, Wolves have been brilliant in 2022. Ow! As for Brentford, look, I think they have done a lot of damage so far in the Premier League, in that they have 23 points right now, but 4 losses on the bounce is not good enough. Think about it. If you had 1-1, drawn 2, that would have been 28 points. That would have been 12 points adrift of safety, but there's still 17 points adrift. I think they'll be okay, but football is a funny game. You could play the next 10 games and you'll only win 1, and you get dragged back down in the relegation scrap. So it's going to be tough. It is really, really going to be tough. For Wolves, in terms of their next fixtures, they're 8th right now. They have Norwich in the FA Cup 4th round, and then Arsenal. And we know Arsenal are a very, iffy team when they come up against quality opposition. So Wolves have some tough games coming up, and that's going to be the test for them, whether they could come through unscathed or whether they're going to falter by the wayside. They have Arsenal, Tottenham, Leicester, and West Ham for their next 4 Premier League matches. But look, Bruno Lage and in charge have done a great job. I think the team has done very well with the players they have at their disposal. They could do with another signing or 2. They did sign up Chiquinho from the Portuguese league, brought back Totti Gomez, who slotted into the defense seamlessly. But I think they are lacking another attacking player. Well, they do have Hwang Hee-chan waiting in the wings. He got injured, But still, I think they need another signing though, indeed. But when you think about it, they might not want to make another signing, seeing that they have Pedro Neto coming back soon. So, you know, you could understand the way Wolves are thinking right about now. But they are still signing players, sending them back out on loan as well. You see a couple players coming in from Grasshopper, going back out. But, you know, they have players who has to come back from injury, and Johnny Otto and Pedro Neto, and of course Josh Da Silva, not Josh Da Silva. Josh Da Silva is Brentford, but Pedro Neto, Johnny Otto waiting in the wings there for their opportunities, maybe at the back end of the season. So congratulations to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and hard luck to Brentford. Let's see if they could pull things back. So revert to the chat here. Big up to the boy Obi with a big $20 super chat. Thank you very much there, Obi. Do appreciate it, man. So Obi is talking Africa Cup of Nations right now, who says, according to the Nigerians on social media, the president is a negative energy. It is on record. He called Super Falcon both Anthony Joshua. They lost after receiving his call. No, he called Super Eagles. Same shit happened. Oh, man. I hope he doesn't call me. Don't tell me he has the Drake effect. You know what I'm saying? Tell you take a picture with Drake, something bad happens to you. But, yeah, we'll talk AFCON another time. I've been talking a lot of AFCON on the channel. But the AFCON is a weird tournament, man. You know, a lot of weird stuff be happening. A lot of corrupt stuff be happening. But it is what it is. Even on the field of play, you might think off the field there might be some corruption. But on the field, some weird things be happening, though. I don't know what these refs be thinking at all. So we're going to get back to the Premier League proceedings. Thank you there very much, Obi. You've made the show much better with that super chat. Give me a little boost in energy there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Oh, man. But anyways, let's talk. Let's continue, though. Let's continue. We have a lot to talk about still. And let's move on to the next game, man. Let's talk Leicester versus Brighton and Hove Albion, where in this game, guys, guess what my prediction was? It was indeed a draw. I did predict a 2-2 draw, but it ended in a 1-1 draw. And I knew it, man. I knew it. I was watching this game with another game. Can't remember the other game I was watching at the same time. It's not important. But I had this game playing as well. And it was a scrappy game where both teams had their big moments. Patson Daka scoring in the 46th minute. And Brighton labored on until they got that goal that we knew was actually coming. Neil Mupay with a brilliant ball into the box, and Danny Welbeck with the header to equalize. And look, we know this, man. We know this. This is Brighton. This is Brighton for you. They're hard to kill. They only have 4 losses this season. Could you believe it? Brighton only lost 4 times this season. But you gotta criticize Leicester. Yet another game where they drop points from a winning position. You think the Tottenham game in the middle of the week where they had the game winning, give up the equalizer in the last minute, and then lost in the last minute as well. So Brendan Rodgers needs to really talk to his team. They need to get their act together, because these could be these will be very costly points when come May at the end of the season. Because you just cannot keep dropping points like this from a winning position. So, see, Pat Sadaka did go off injured there. Hope he's okay. Let's see if he'll be fine for the next game. But look, not much to really talk about in this game. We're not going to go on and on and on and on and on. Graham Potter wasn't on the touchline seemingly. I didn't even realize that. But Bjorn Hamburg was actually in charge on the day. So sometimes, you know, you preview the matches, you don't pick up on everything. And Potter wasn't available. I don't know if he got coronavirus or what, if he was suspended. or what. I'm really not sure the circumstances in where Graham Potter actually missed this game. So let me just do a quick search. Let me see what happened with Graham Potter here, why he missed this match, because I have no idea, man. I have no idea why he missed the game. So do a quick Google search, see the news. Let me see what it says. All right. Brighton head coach Graham Potter tests positive for COVID-19, will miss Leicester game. So it was because of coronavirus. So yeah, I got it right the first time around. So guys, if you haven't yet smashed the thumbs up button, make sure you do so. We'll definitely appreciate that one. But I have to say that we got to give some credit to Robert Sanchez. From watching the game there, Sanchez pulled off a few big saves, man. You got to give it to Robert Sanchez. Brighton, they were actually very good on the day still. And, I can't say enough good things about this team. I call Brighton the mini Man City because of the attractive football they play and just how they dominate games. If you watch the game against Chelsea in the middle of the week, oh, man. I couldn't believe I was actually watching Brighton play. I for a second, I was like, whoa, I forgot Man City's not playing on the day. Seriously. But it's nice to see James Justin fit again. Daniel Amate started the game after his unsuccessful spell with Ghana at the African Cup of Nations. Harvey Barnes back in the 11. Jamie Vardy still out with injury. And Leicester did put out a fairly decent enough squad. Team that I think they could have gotten the points. Really could have gotten the points. But Brighton, when you look at their lineup, they just got that continuity, rotating a few guys here and there, with Steven Alzate coming in, most likely for the absent Yves Bissouma, who's at the AFCON with Mali right now. So all the best to them in the game against Equatorial Guinea. But it was a scrappy game, and I think, yeah, well-deserved point each for both teams. So it is what I expected anyway, so I'm not surprised about the result. But I think Leicester, they got to do a lot better, though. They really got to do a lot better. Seriously. They have to do a lot better. So in terms of Leicester, right now, they are 10th. Not bad. Halfway through the season, 10th with 26 points. Not bad at all. But for Brighton, though, who are the draw kings of the league with 12 draws, have drawn 4 out of their last 5 games. Well, it's a positive sign. They're not getting beaten a lot, but they got to score more goals, and they do let in goals as well. So 23 goals conceded, 23 goals scored. They need to score a lot more goals. Okay? Only 7 less than Manchester United, so they're not doing too badly. But they need more goals. They really need more goals. So for Leicester, I should say, Leicester, the next game will be against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup 4th round. Then they do face Liverpool again. They did beat Liverpool already this season. They have West Ham, Randers in the Conference League. And they do have Wolves. So they do have some tough games, some really tough games coming up there, Leicester City. And look, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't predict a very bright near future for Leicester City. These games are very tough. They're very tough. We could see Leicester go through a very horrible period. Or who knows? They might just prove me wrong and pick up a couple wins and a few draws and go through unscathed. You never ever know. You never know. But in terms of their opponent here, Brighton, who I've been so impressed with, and I've been so impressed with Graham Potter. So impressed that, to be honest, if Pep Guardiola leaves, I won't mind getting Graham Potter as the manager of Man City, to be honest. He plays some attractive football. He got a good head on his shoulder and everything, and look, it won't be a bad appointment at all. Won't be. But I don't know if City would actually be, inclined to be experimental with an appointment like that. But still, it's left to be seen. So their next game is a 4th round FA Cup game against Tottenham. Then they have Watford, Burnley, Aston Villa, Newcastle. Some nice games coming up for Brighton, where I think they'll pick up a couple wins and maybe a few draws in there. So with that being said, we are definitely going to move on. Brighton are in the top 10, guys. Believe it or not. Brighton, after 22 games, have 30 points and they're in the top 10. Congratulations to Brighton, man. They're doing well. They're doing well, and I'm happy. So, big up to Brandon Webb, who says the AFCON refs are not dissimilar to the Premier League refs. Usually, they're not without controversy. I actually think the AFCON refs, are worse. They're worse. And if you could get worse than the Premier League, you're bad. I think they're actually worse, man. Blowing the whistle like before the game is over. You know what I mean? Blowing the whistle when a team needing 1 goal is on the attack and you could just let the play out. You know what I'm saying? It's just some dodgy red cards, some dodgy yellow cards. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. The AFCON, you know what I mean, is a weird tournament in terms of the officiating and just the organizing and everything. But I'm just here for the football, man. I'm not really here for the BS, seriously. So, big up to Dane Richards. Nice to see you in here, who says Brighton loves a draw. Eli L. Hey, Dom. When is the CONCACAF World Cup qualifying January window preview coming out? No rush. I just want to see your insight. I'm planning to do those tomorrow. I don't know if I have the energy to do so, though. Seriously, I really don't know. But I'm going to try to get some predictions out for the games that's coming up Thursday in CONMEBOL, CONCACAF, and in Asia. We know in Africa we got the AFCON right now. Europe got their games coming up in March. Oceania got their games coming up as well. And we have Africa got their games coming up then as well. So, look, only 3 confederations will be actually taking part in proceedings this time around. And that's CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, and Asia. We'll be talking about them. So, Dane Richards is asking, Dom, thoughts on Man City being linked to Julian Alvarez? Yeah, I've seen it. Definitely seen it. And I'm excited about it because Alvarez is a good young prospect. And City want to pick up the best young prospects and turn them into world beaters. Let's see how it works out. Let's see if we do get to sign him. And let's see if he eventually joins the first team come next season. Because I think if we do sign him now, we're going to loan him back to River Plate. I think it's River Plate he plays for. And then, he'll join up with the first team next season. Because he does play for Argentina full national team. So that's already a sign that he's very good. Messi approved as well. And it could be the Sergio Aguero regen, right? So look for that one, though. Look for that one. So I will talk about that some more when I do my next transfer roundup. And I have to do one of those pretty soon as well. Time, man. I don't have time to do a lot of things these days. I really don't. So we are going to move on to the next game. And let's talk Leeds 0, Newcastle United 1. What was actually my prediction for this? I think I predicted a draw. Yeah, I predicted a 1-1 draw for this match. But Newcastle are the team that hold on to the win, and a well-needed win for the Magpies here. Big win, man. Big win. Could see how it meant, how much it meant to Eddie Howe and just the celebrations and everything. It's like they had won the freaking Champions League. But they lost Joel Linton early on in the game there. 42nd minute, they did lose 3 players to injury. Dummett, who newly came back from injury. Jamal Lascelles as well, and Joel Linton all going off because of injury, with Longstaff, Manquillo, and Kieran Clark replacing him. So, look, bright performance. I think Alain Saint-Maximin performed very, very well. This is not a game where I saw the entire match, but I was actually watching this game, but didn't get my 100% attention, if I'm being completely honest with you. And this game was actually played, let me tell you, Saturday. This game was played on Saturday. I can't remember the time slot for this game, but I'm pretty sure there was something else going on at the same time. Hence the reason why I couldn't actually, give it my undivided attention. But look, big win for Newcastle. I actually think I wasn't watching this game, and it just tuned in after one game was done. And it was just like a bonus like package, like bonus footage there. So, and I did see the back end of the match. But look, I didn't expect Newcastle to win the game. They did. Leeds, this is a setback after winning back-to-back matches. They would have to go back to the drawing board and, try to continue picking up those points. But look, this is a huge 3 points for Newcastle, where in their last 3 games, they have gone unbeaten, which is a very, very, very positive sign. Very positive. They're on 15 points with 21 games played, and a couple more wins with a couple draws sprinkled in there. You could be past Brentford or Palace by the time you know it, and you don't have to worry about relegation. But it's a long, long way to go, man. Even if Newcastle double their points, they still won't be safe. You see what I'm saying? So they got a lot to do. They really got a lot to do in the upcoming weeks and months, and if they are to survive the drop here. But nevertheless, good win, man. Good win. Well deserved. I think they played well. John Joe Shelvey with the goal. 75th minute direct free kick. You got to give it to Shelvey, man. You got to give it to Shelvey. Quality, quality, quality player indeed. King of the match there. You know what I mean? I know he's not the, he's kind of weird to look at, to be honest, with his shine head. I know I have a bald head too, but Shelvey, bro, you got to grow out the stash, grow some beard or something, man. Balance it out a little, bro. You know what I mean? Oh, the boy John Joe. It's a beast, He's a beast, God damn. What a goal. But that was the moment of quality that mattered, and that was the difference on the day. But I still think guys like Ryan Fraser got to step their game up, man. Jeff Hendrick. Joe Willock did look bright. The little cameo I saw him in there. He did look good. And this could be the tide turning for Newcastle United, they would hope. You know what I mean? Chris Wood, yet another game. Trippier, yet another game he started. I think Wood is working very hard. Unlucky not to score yet for his new team. But I think brighter days might be there for the big New Zealand international. So hard luck, definitely hard luck to Leeds. Few highlights that I saw. Rafinha did look bright down the left. They threatened a lot, and they were very unlucky not to get something from the game, though. But it is what it is. Better team on the day one, and that was Newcastle United. Are they going to survive the drop, man? Are they going to survive the drop? Let's just take a look at what's in store for Newcastle in terms of their next games coming up. Let's just take a brief look at that, and then we talk Leeds and move on. So this is Newcastle. This is Newcastle right now. They did lose to Cambridge in the FA Cup. That was very sad. But they bounced back against Watford with a draw. Beat Leeds United. They have Everton coming up next. And this is the right time to play Everton. This is the right time to play Everton when Newcastle would fancy their chances of getting something from the game. Villa is a team that's beatable for Newcastle. West Ham would give you a chance as well. Brentford. So, Brighton, this is the period where Newcastle could try to really pick up some serious points. It's going to be tough, like any other time, but it would be, a very important period if they are to get some points here. So, in terms of the other team, in terms of Leeds United, 15th right now. They haven't been good this season. Let's not act like they haven't been good. Only 5 wins, 7 draws, and 9 losses. 22 points. They're not safe as yet. They could get dragged into the relegation scrap like in a flash In terms of the upcoming games, they do have Aston Villa, Everton. Games that they would fancy their chances against, right? Teams that they would fancy their chances against. United, they would relish their fare, but might not be the most favorable result for them. Same with the Tottenham game. The Leicester game is, could go any way. But they have some good games coming up. Some tricky ones, some difficult ones, and some ones where they could actually pick up some points. So they have been ravaged by injuries, COVID, and, a combination of both this season. And being 22 points right now, not bad if you ask me. So that's it for that one. Big up to everybody watching the stream right about now. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Big up to the obvious girl who is a member of the channel. Thank you very much for continuing to be a member. Appreciate that big time, man. Do appreciate the love and support that you guys show to the channel. We are hour in. We're not doing too badly. And this is, remember, the second stream where the first time I had some audio issues. I didn't touch the audio system. I didn't do anything. And just started up thinking I'm good to go like usual. And then bam, system, down. System all over the place. So big up to everybody still watching. Make sure you like the video if you're yet to do so. Let's get the stream up to 25 thumbs up. We'll definitely appreciate it. We have some big games to talk about. Man City did drop points this weekend, so I know people are loving that. And it gives Liverpool that glimmer of hope. Imagine dropping 2 points gives you glimmer of hope. But if City had won, Premier League title wrapped up, right? Only 2 points. Like, come on, man. That's how thin the margins are in the Premier League. So, with that being said, man, congratulations to Eddie Howe and Newcastle. Hard luck to Bielsa and Leeds. And we are going to move right on to the next game. So, look, we have a few games left. We touched on Norwich, Watford. We talked Everton, Aston Villa. We talked Wolves, Brentford, Leeds, Newcastle. We touched on Arsenal versus Burnley. We talked Leicester versus Brighton, which means the only games we got left, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool versus Crystal Palace, Man United, West Ham, and Southampton versus Manchester City. We won't be long on most of these games either. So let's talk Chelsea versus Tottenham. This is not a game that I'm going to spend super long talking about because I only watched the second half of this game. I got mixed up with the start time of this match where I thought it was going to start at 12:30 my time, but it started at I think 11:30, and I missed most of the first half. When I tuned in, Chelsea were already I think it was 0-0. Yeah, I think it was 0-0 when I tuned in. And then Ziyech scored. Yeah, I think it was 0-0 when I tuned in. And when I tuned back in, it was like the same time Ziyech scored that goal. So Chelsea beating Tottenham again. Tottenham, you let me down. You let me down. I predicted you to win the game. Seeing that Antonio Conte was having a very solid Premier League start to his very solid start to his Premier League career at Tottenham. And I backed him. I backed him to bounce back from those losses in the semi-final of the Cup, where they just lost those games, was just pushed aside by Chelsea, taken advantage of, and yet again, taken advantage of. Look, controversial moment in this game where Harry Kane scored after he had nudged Thiago Silva to the ground. Silva went down too easily. And even though Kane scored, the goal was then chalked off. So I think that goal should have stood because it was a very, very soft touch. Look, I think referees have to start using their discretion here. You look at the replay in real time. You look at it in slow motion. You look at the player and you could read their body language and you could see that, Thiago Silva was always going to buy that foul, that touch, and he went down way too easily. Why can't they use that though? Why can't they do things like that? You see what I'm saying? I don't get it, man. Some of these tackles, why can't they say the player genuinely tried to go for the ball and the other player just came in from behind They got clipped. But yeah, they still send the players off. I don't get these referees, man. Seriously. I really don't get these referees. And even though they have the ability of to replay and review the damn decisions, they still be getting the decisions wrong. So Hakim Ziyech in the 47th minute, set up by Callum Hudson-Odoi. That was a brilliant goal, man. Postage stamp in the V. That was brilliant. That's the Hakim Ziyech we saw over at Ajax. And we are seeing glimpses of that Ziyech again, where he's getting in the goal scoring act lately. Good goal. And Thiago Silva with a reply in the 55th minute to put the nail in Tottenham's coffin, because at that time, they weren't going to come back in the game. They really weren't. They really weren't. I think Tanganga had a poor game. Not good enough on the day at all. And Chelsea just bullied Tottenham like for the third time in like 2 weeks, which is ridiculous when you think about it. You would think that Tottenham, okay, we've seen a lot of Chelsea. We know how to beat them. Not the case. Not the case at all. Not the case. You got to give credit to Chelsea here. I don't think they have been brilliant across the last few games at all. But the fact that they came back, they bounced back when they needed to, you got to give kudos to the team. Look, I think in terms of them potentially winning the title this season, that's over. They're way too far behind. But they could actually try to keep that top 4 spot alive. You know, so I think that's what they're going to be playing for, barring a catastrophic meltdown by Manchester City. You see what I'm saying? Look, we saw Steven Bergwijn start in this game, rewarded for the heroics of the last game against Leicester City. Sometimes when situations like that happen, you got to still bring the player off the bench. You see what I'm saying? I don't know why managers always do that. Whenever a player does well, they want to start them the next game. Why not just give the players another run off the bench? They were good off the bench. Try them off the bench again. But as I said, managers don't really think like that, though. They don't at all. So just to give you something on the stats for this game before I do move on. Look, you know, I go on and on when Chelsea lose games, and it's like I banter the Chelsea fans. But I got to give them credit for this one, though. They did bounce back when they needed a win, and they did so convincingly against a Tottenham team who are not struggling in the league. They're not struggling under Conte in the league, but in the League Cup, just low off morale there. So, dominant performance by Chelsea. 15 shots at goal, 7 on target. With most of the ball as well, being 65%. And one thing I did notice in this game is that Malang Sarr was given the start at left back, which shows that Thomas Tuchel, who played a 4 in the game instead of a 3, he's trying new things. You know, I always say Thomas Tuchel has no plan B. He's trying new things, and this might just be his plan B to deal with Tottenham Hotspur here, and it was done successfully. Malang Sarr had a really good game on the against Manchester City, so I could see why he's actually persisting with him. And I think, you know, we as football fans could be very fickle. I know in the past Chelsea fans really went in on Malang Sarr, but now they're probably praising him for the good job he's been doing lately. So Jorginho came back in the team as well. Conte dropped to the bench. You know, he's just managing the players, managing the workload and everything, and still managing to pick up a win against Tottenham. So for Chelsea, with that win, they stay third in the table on 47 points, but with 24 matches played. That's 2 more than Liverpool and 1 more than Manchester City. So right now, they close the gap to 10 points, but City do have a game in hand. They could make it 13. But football is a funny game. There could be a situation where City could play the next 10 games and they could drop points. They could continue dropping points. But the thing is, teams around are dropping points as well. But the key to actually getting yourself back in the title race is to just keep winning and see if your opponent drop points. And especially for example, like Liverpool, who still got to play City one more time, there is where the Premier League title race do get very, very, very tricky if Liverpool do not continue dropping points. So, look, don't have anything else to add on this one. I think it was a much better performance by Chelsea, as I did say. Kepa Arrizabalaga go through the entire January. I think did he even concede a goal in January? Let me just double check here really quick. Yeah, did concede against Brighton, and I think Chesterfield, and that has been it. Yeah, Liverpool as well. That was Edward Mendy in goal then. So Kepa has only conceded 2 goals. 2 goals for Kepa since he's taken the gloves from the absent Edward Mendy. So, look, teams weren't able to capitalize on Edward Mendy's absence. And, yeah, even though Brighton did pick up points, City pick up points, and Liverpool pick up points, I think the other team, in terms of Tottenham, failed to really capitalize on that. But, look, Chelsea will look to continue their winning ways as they play the 4th round FA Cup game against Plymouth Argyle. Then they do have the Club World Cup. All the best to Chelsea there. I might talk about that tournament, briefly. Crystal Palace coming up. Lille in the Champions League. A lot of football. They do have Liverpool in the final of the EFL Cup. A lot of football left to be played, man. They do have a game against Burnley coming up. A team that picked points off them already this season. So, look, the season is young, man. 23 matches done. What we got? 15 to go. 15 match days. A lot of teams have makeup games as well. But I think the season might have more twists and more turns. might just. I know a lot of people are hoping. I'm hoping that the season might have a few, maybe not twist too much, but just some more intrigue towards the end, and not just City totally running away with the title, man. You know what I mean? So seriously, because when it happens like that, people lose interest. You see what I'm saying? I don't want people to lose interest. I want people to be interested in the league, people to come to watch the live streams, not just my live streams, all the other live streams on YouTube, and just for us to have a very exciting season and not just a one-sided damn league that could become a farmers league in a few years. So for Leicester City, their next game is against Brighton, the FA Cup 4th round. Then they do have Southampton, Wolves, Man City, Leeds. Some tough games coming up for Tottenham Hotspur here as well. So, but with Conte in charge, they're looking much better if you ask me. And for Tottenham, they're 7th. For Chelsea, they're 3rd. So Tottenham would be hoping that they do not finish in that position and get Conference League again. They really would be hoping that that's not the case. So with that being said, we're going to keep it moving. Big up to everybody in the stream right about now. We are going to get into the big ones. Big up to Raz, who says Chelsea title pretenders, and MVP Kev clapping back right away. You know what I mean? Big up to Obi, who's still in the house, who says City will still drop more points. Liverpool winning without Mane and Salah is a huge statement. Liverpool will definitely win something, bro. You got the League Cup. You might think you're still in the league. There's a Champions League. There's a FA Cup. Season is still very young, as I mentioned. It's still very young. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to keep it moving, though. Definitely going to keep it moving. Ziyech crowned king of the match. Just take a look at some of the visuals from the game there. Thiago Silva, Wildy Fox. Thiago Silva scored a goal in the game. Antonio Conte must not be happy about the whole performance. You see the full crowd. Listen, them people in England love their football, man. COVID or not, it can't stop the show. They don't care. They don't care. COVID or not, the show will go on. Oh, before we do move on, don't think I'm going to actually let Romelu Lukaku off the hook. What's going on with Lukaku, though? Because I noticed something in this game, right? I noticed something because I did watch the second half. I noticed something. Lukaku was celebrating people's goals like if it's his. Stop celebrating like it's your goals, bro. I know it's a team sport and everything, but bro, you look weird celebrating the goals like they're your goals. Go back and watch the highlights and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with Lukaku. You know what I mean? He needs to step his game up. Big time. Big time. It has not been a good performance since he's been signed. Didn't start too bad at all, but it's not been good. He's been in trouble, been injured, got COVID, and he's going through a goal drought of some sort. And he did come back and score a couple goals, but then he's gone, you know, his shooting boots are missing again. So big up to Agunzi LFC. Howdy damn, how things? It's late and I'm tired as hell, bro. That's how things are going. It's an hour 15 minutes into the stream and we're definitely gonna keep it moving for sure. So Hakim Ziyech with the wonder strike there. Harry Kane wondering how his goal didn't stand. Look, Kepa pulling off a couple big saves. It was indeed, you know, a dominant performance by Chelsea, even though Tottenham did get a few look-ins. 1 or 2 look-ins there for Tottenham, man. 3 shots on target, 6 shots at goal. Chelsea with 15 shots on target, 15 shots at goal, 7 on target. So, look, we're going to move. We're going to keep it moving. Do appreciate everybody watching, guys. We do need 4 more thumbs up to hit 30. Let's get it there. But let's move on to the next match. Manchester United 1. West Ham 0. You got to give it to United, man. You got to give it to them. You know why? West Ham, you got to take your chances when you play against United. You take your chances early, you defend well, and you beat them. Or you get a point. But when you lollygag throughout the game and you show the opponent too much respect, this is what ends up happening to you. United, of course, are dominant to the 2 teams. But West Ham stayed in the match and they threatened on a few occasions. 6 shots at goal, 1 on target, 43% of the ball. United did have their woes of their own, right? Definitely. And I think it's a game that's reminiscent of matches on the Sir Alex Ferguson where they won late, Fergie time type stuff. And it was a heartbreaking loss for West Ham as they had just been resilient throughout the game, kept United at bay, gone 90 plus minutes without conceding, and then bam, Rashford, tap in, Cavani, big offside call. I think it was onside. If you ask me, it was onside. It was onside, and I don't even think it was touch and go either. I think people just have an agenda against United, so they just don't want to see United do well. So when things happen like that, they would say it's an offside, but guys, it wasn't an offside. And this is coming from a Manchester City fan who wants United to lose every single game. Nah, it wasn't offside at all. For this game, I did predict a draw. It was heading towards a draw. And if it wasn't for that late Rashford strike, that would have definitely been the... Look, for United, you got to give a lot of credit to Anthony Ilanga. He has came into the side and slotted in nicely. You got to give, you know, Fred a shout. Big up to Fred as well, man. Bruno Fernandes has been playing some good football. You know what I mean? I think Telles and Dallo looks a lot better than Fred and Wan-Bissaka. Not Fred, Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, if I'm being real. Danny Van de Beek still not getting chances off the bench. Martial did come on, had a great opportunity, didn't take it. And look, as much as it wasn't a great performance by United, they still managed to scrape and get the draw, the win in the end. I don't know why I'm saying draw. Almost drew the game, but they were able to scrape and get that 3 points in the end. It's late, guys. Very late, and I've had a long day. But West Ham, David Moyes, yeah, typical West Ham performance, man. Sometimes they do play very well. We know they beat Chelsea. They beat City in the League Cup. They beat United in the League Cup already. They beat Liverpool. But it's just games where they come and they just don't show up, man. That's just the thing I don't understand with West Ham. And then the manager, David Moyes, would come out and say the players are exhausted and whatnot and what have you, right? But I just think, you know, they weren't at their best on the day, if I'm being completely honest. Weren't able to carve out enough clear-cut chances to score against United. So, look, Ralph Rangnick would feel that, you know, he's making some type of progress, even though they're all over the place, if you ask me. And it will still take a lot to get this team up to the level where they'll really, really compete for the title. Something that they really haven't been doing. So Rangnick has a big job on his hands. And when you win, you got to give credit. But also, when they draw or lose, you got to give the manager the criticism. You got to criticize the team. But on the day, they fought well. They really fought well. Definitely credit to Rangnick for the changes he made there when he brought on Cavani and Martial in the 82nd minute. And that indeed changed the game. So that's my thoughts on that one. Congrats to United, even though I don't like him. Congrats still. Hard luck to West Ham. And with that win, United definitely went up into the top 4, knocked West Ham out of it. They do have 38 points. West Ham on 37 with a game more played. It's going to be a good race for the top 4 this season. I could see it where there's United, there's West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham, and even Wolves you could throw in the mix. And Leicester would want to be a part of that, and maybe Aston Villa as well. So for Manchester United, their next game will be against Middlesbrough in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Then they do have Burnley in the Premier League, Southampton, Leeds, all winnable games for the Red Devils. As for West Ham United, for the Hammers, the Irons, their next game would be against non-league Kidminster in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Then they do have Watford, who would be without Ranieri, who has been sacked. Then they got Leicester. Some tough games coming up for West Ham United, though. But in terms of, you know, relegation, they won't have to try to bring in Sam Allardyce this season. So that's my thoughts on that one. Let me know yours. We'll definitely appreciate it. So what we got here, man? Big up to everybody in the house right about now. What about the Kane goal? I think it was harsh that they chalked it off. It should have stood, in my opinion. I did touch on that earlier there, Michael Olapido. So do appreciate you coming in, though. Definitely respect to everybody supporting the stream right about now. Guys, make sure you smash up the thumbs up button for the stream. It was nice actually seeing Kurt Zuma back in action as well. Cresswell has been fit again, Ryan Frederick. So West Ham's getting a lot of their team back together. Indeed. So, look, we're going to keep it moving, though. Don't want to linger too much. Landing the plane on today's live stream, where it won't be a 3-hour one as usual. And let's talk about the game between Southampton and Manchester City here. I won't be super long on this, but this is my team. And I am yet to talk about the game because I wanted to just leave it until I went live. I didn't want to, you know, I actually wasn't in the position on the day to talk about it, but maybe I should have touched on it already. But you got to give credit here to Southampton. Mohamed Salisu should have been the king of the match here, not Kevin De Bruyne. It should have been Salisu. It really should have been Salisu because he just kept intercepting everything, blocking everything, winning back the balls. I'm telling you, Salisu was big. It wasn't the best start for him, in my opinion. But he did grow in the game, and oh my God. I think the difference between Southampton losing and gaining that point they got on the day, it was Mo Salisu and his great defensive work that he put out there. Indeed. No doubts at all. No doubts. It was a frustrating day at the office You could see Kevin De Bruyne's face right here. Very, very, very frustrating day. But look, very bright start by Southampton, and I think they did the right thing. And they were very happy that they got the goal early on in the game. It was a well-deserved goal, though. The way they worked it and everything, it was indeed a great goal. Kyle Walker-Peters, I think that's his first ever Premier League goal. 7th minute, set up by Nathan Redmond. And that was a freaking great shot. That wasn't a good shot. That was a great shot. Kyle Walker-Peters seems like he just, have beef with City or something, like he wants to smoke. Because that was a hell of a strike, man. And I was saying to myself, damn, we're going to lose today? Are we going to draw points to Southampton today? Yeah, damn. We drop points. We drop points to Southampton. I'm not mad, but I actually thought that we were going to win the game. I really thought that we were going to win the game. And I'm wary of being sucker punched. Seriously. Every time we concede a goal, it's almost the same way, where the teams just catch us on a break. They have superior numbers. We are caught running backwards, and we get picked off. And that wasn't the best defending at all in that instance. Wasn't the best defending, but you also got to give credit to the attackers for just carving apart the defense, because sometimes you may say, oh, you got to defend better. But, whoa, what about how brilliant the attackers were, that they were impossible to defend? You see what I'm saying? So you definitely got to give credit to Southampton for getting that goal in the game, early in the game. I think, honestly, even though Southampton were brilliant, to be honest, we should have won the game still. We should have got that goal early, and we should have won the game. It should have been a game like the match against Arsenal, where it looked like we were never going to win that game, and we came back well and won the game. You see what I'm saying? So, Mo Salisu, and you have guys like Raheem Sterling not taking their chances, clear-cut chances, man, right there on the platter for you to score, and you're not taking the chances. That's frustrating the hell out of me. Jack Grealish, I don't think, is doing enough, right? But as I mentioned previously, we have to be patient with Jack Grealish. We got to be patient. Because if we're not patient, we're gonna put unnecessary pressure on the player, and you could destroy the player. You see what I'm saying? So it's still early times in his Premier League career at Manchester City. And as I mentioned before, Jack Grealish is not a £100 million player. He's not. He only costs that, but he's not that. If you understand what I'm saying. So I think the expectations are too high. And I think Jack Grealish needs to relax and maybe try to channel some of the performances that he put out for Aston Villa when he was there. But this is a different team. It's going to take a while to get used to the way City play, the slick play, the whole Pep Guardiola setup and everything. And, it's going to take some time. But I think Grealish could still do better, if you ask me. He could still do a lot better. I think Phil Foden had a really good game, good couple shots at goal. But, was unlucky not to get a goal on the day. Rodri with a couple look-ins as well. Blasted over. Look, it is what it is, man. We couldn't continue winning them all. 12 in a row, I think, was a good run and might just be enough to win the title. But this draw gives Liverpool a glimmer of hope. It gives them a glimmer of hope. Let's take a look at the table here. Let's take a look. I think, before we do take a look at the table, I must say City were very unlucky in the game not to get the decisions from the ref go their way. The Kevin De Bruyne penalty shout, that was a penalty. That was a penalty. Kevin De Bruyne was fouled twice, and one of those fouls definitely came in the box and not on the edge of the box where the referee just said no, whatever, no free kick, no penalty. It should have been a penalty. It really should have been a penalty. And then the Stuart Armstrong foul on Laporte should have been a red card. That's a red card. That's a red card tackle all day, every day. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what went on in the referee's head on the day. I'm not complaining. It's just another game where we only picked up a point yet again to Southampton. But not as if Southampton came out there and not play good and not try their best. You see what I'm saying? They were threatening on multiple occasions, with Amanda Brozier being very, very, very dangerous on the day. Gotta give some credit to Amanda Brozier. And look, Southampton go unbeaten against City in the Premier League this season, which is something that most teams can't say. You see what I mean? This does not happen very, very often. Like, look at Chelsea. They lost both their games against City this season, and Southampton were able to gain 2 points. City with 20 shots at goal, 5 on target. You see, that's the stat I don't like. We weren't troubling Southampton. We weren't really keeping the goalkeeper busy enough. We really weren't. Good passing as usual. A lot of possession. A lot of possession in the final third. A lot of shots. Not enough on target. Not enough goals. Southampton 7 shots at goal. 3 on target. 1 enough to get into the back of the net. So, look, don't want to go super long with this one. Indeed, I'm disappointed in the result because, as I mentioned, as I was actually going to say, let's just go back to the table right here really quick before we get into the Liverpool game. Let's take a look at the Premier League table right now, right? And this is a scenario right now. City with 23 games played, 57 points. Liverpool with 22, 48 points, which means that gap between Liverpool and City is only 9 points. With Liverpool a game in hand, let's say they win that game in hand. I think that's against Leeds United, if I'm not mistaken. They'll be only 6 points behind City. And if they win that game between City and Liverpool, then it will be only a 3-point gap. But who is to say that Liverpool won't drop points along the way? You see what I'm saying? So for Liverpool, the key is to make a title race again. Keep winning your games. And if Man City want to drop points, let them drop points. The key to City keeping this Premier League, well, keeping the lead in the Premier League table and keeping one hand firm on the trophy that we already have, can't drop points. You cannot drop points, especially not to Southampton and these teams. Seriously, you can't drop points. But it's better to drop him against Southampton than against Liverpool. Just want to put that out there. It's going to be a big game. And, you know, that game between City and Liverpool, mark your date. Mark the date on your calendar, right? That game is coming up. April the 9th. April the 9th. What day is actually that date? Let me see. April the 9th is Saturday. That will be 10 a.m. Saturday, April the 9th. Local time, New York time. Over in England, that would be about 3. That would be a 3 o'clock kickoff game, right? 5 hours ahead. That would be a 3 o'clock kickoff game. So that will be hosted by City as well, which, you know, gives Man City a bit of an advantage there. So, do I want a title race to make things a lot more interesting? Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, because it's not very interesting right now talking about the Premier League when City's already winning it, to be honest. The reception isn't there. People don't really want to, you know, you could see it. You could actually see it. You know what I mean? Maybe not on the club channels, like a Liverpool channel may still get the good reception there. And people may still want to come out to hear what the issues are within the club and what's keeping, you know, the club from winning and whatnot. But for my stream, I'm talking about my stream. I'm talking about all the teams. This is not a Man City channel. This is not a Liverpool only channel. This is a general football channel. So with a general football channel, you want the interest to be there. You want it to remain there until, if possible, the last week of the season, like we've had before. But right now, it seems as if City are running away with it. But with points dropped to Southampton, Liverpool has a sniff. Look, Ralph Hasenhuttl, I gotta give you credit. You could see how emotional he was on the touchline. A little bit too emotional if you ask me. But the man wears his heart on his sleeve. And I think that's the reason why Southampton haven't sacked him yet. Because they saw how committed he is to the cause. So, well played, Southampton. Hard luck to my team, City. I thought we were going to win 13 on the bounce. But I guess that's unlucky number 13. We just got to brush that draw off. It could have been worse. It could have definitely been an L. But I think a draw is something that we could still be proud of, because you got to give credit to the opponent. And Southampton were definitely worthy opponents on the day. But look, should have won the game though. Should have won the game still. I'm still going to stick to that. As much as I want to be nice to Southampton, we should have still won the game. Raheem Sterling, you had a stink of a game though. You've been good. You were good in December, good so far in January, but let's hope that one was a one-off. Definitely was a one-off. So we're going to keep it moving though, and definitely move on to the last game that we have to talk about today. And we go to the results. We've been live for hour 36 minutes. Not going to be super long tonight, as I mentioned, because it's late. I'm tired, and I actually lost 1 hour because I had some issues with the live stream early on. So we have talked about all these games so far, definitely. Before I do forget, City's next game will be against Fulham in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Then they do have Brentford. Man City are top of the league, as you guys should know. They have Norwich coming up before they play Sporting in the Champions League. So for Southampton, who right now are 12th with 25 points, they have really pulled things back this season. Their next game will be against Coventry in the 4th round of the FA Cup. Then they do have Tottenham, United, Everton, and Norwich coming up in the league. So we go back here. I've talked about all these games, all these matches, with the exception of one game. And that's the game Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 3. I did predict Liverpool to win this game. And my prediction was a 3-1 win for Liverpool. So I got my prediction spot on. Dead right. Dead right there. Dead right. Very good, right? Very good, Dom. Very good. Deserve a sticker for that one. Where's my sticker, man? Where's my sticker? Somebody give me a sticker. I deserve a sticker for that. So, yeah. Liverpool with an important win like I predicted. Didn't predict City to lose, but did predict Liverpool. Well, I didn't predict us to draw. It felt like a loss. But I tend to do that. I tend to make a mistake, but that's what I really meant. It's like a loss. The draw is like a loss. But I predicted City to win the game. I predicted Liverpool to win, but City drew and Liverpool won. Which means that Liverpool picked up 2 points more than City picked up this weekend. And it puts Liverpool in a very good position to claw themselves back in the title race. That's been the talk of the town right now when you talk Liverpool and City, right? Somebody asked a question. And they ask, I'm going to address this question right now. Dom, any chance of Liverpool catching us? Or should I already pop the bottles? I said the title race was over. But let's not pop the bottles yet. Let's not pop the bottles yet. I do think 9 points is a healthy lead right now. It's a very, very healthy lead. Liverpool with a game in hand. Let me just take a look at the table once again. Liverpool with a game in hand. Let's say they win that game in hand. There would only be 6 points. So let's say, realistically, let's say Liverpool or 6 points behind. 6 points is still a very good cushion to have over a team. It is still a very good cushion to have. 14 and 15 ahead is even nicer. But it's a tricky situation where for Liverpool, they need to beat City. But we're talking right now, it could be insignificant. The game could be insignificant. So I think it's still too early. We have to assess things after the international break. Let's see what Liverpool does in their games coming up. Their next 5 games. Let's see what City does in their next 5. And let's see if City drop more points. Let's see if Liverpool drop more points. Let's see, who knows, if City goes on a mad run. Let's see if Liverpool goes on a mad run. So it's still some, it is a tricky one to call. I do think from this position, Man City should never lose the league title. But, football is a funny game and anything could happen. So, look, I'm not scared. If Liverpool do go on to win the title from the position they're in, it means that we would have one cracking season and it would be a nice thing to follow. Seriously, think about it. It's my team. We'll be losing the title if it happens, but at the same time, it would be great. You see what I'm saying? It would be great for football to see City actually not win the title from the position that they were in. You see what I'm saying? But I doubt it would happen. I really doubt. But let's keep our fingers crossed, though. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So in this game, Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 3. Liverpool started very brightly, a few early chances, and Virgil van Dijk with the goal in the 8th minute after Guaita was tested a few times prior to that. Big goal by Virgil van Dijk. Andy Robertson with 2 assists in the game. You got to give credit to Andy Robertson for, how well he has done this season so far. I think he pulled things back after he had a poor period lately, but he really pulled things back and he's in form once again. Van Dijk with a thumping header, unsavable for sure, and it was Liverpool. It was all Liverpool for about the first, let's say, 28 minutes of the game, right? Let's use let's use 28 minutes. All Liverpool. Crystal Palace hardly had a sniff, and I was like, oh, here we go again. Are we going to see a 7-0 situation again? No, we're not. But still, Crystal Palace are guilty of not taking the chances when it presented themselves. That mistake by Joel Matip was supposed to be punished, wasn't punished. You see what I'm saying? And these are the moments where teams have to take the opportunities, and I always say it. When you're playing the better teams, a Chelsea, a City, a Liverpool, a United, you got to put them in the category too. They're up there in the top 6 for most of the time. When you're playing these teams, man, and you have opportunities to score, you score. You score. You don't fool around. You don't BS. You score. Because it'll come back to haunt you. It'll come back to haunt you. And I think after poor 30 minutes, Crystal Palace fought back well for the final 60. And I think they were very unlucky not to get something from the game. Liverpool, I got to criticize you here. I really got to criticize you. The early Van Dijk goal, the early dominance, but that Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain goal was supposed to be chalked off. Firmino was offside in the build-up and he was interfering with the play. The ball went directly over Firmino's head where Tyreek Mitchell could have actually jumped and, tried to intercept that ball. So I think that was a mistake on the referees and VAR's behalf. And we know it happens in the Premier League. But sometimes things fall through the cracks and you gotta be, gotta have a little luck at times. And that was Liverpool luck going their way. So Ox with the second goal there, he has been in very good form. and stepping in for the absent Sadio Mane, Mo Salah up there. You got to definitely give these guys credit. And you got to give Liverpool credit too. Unscathed without Salah and Mane. Like, a lot of us were talking about, oh man, Liverpool could actually struggle in January without their two African stars who's at the AFCON right about now. And it was never the case. Never the case. Liverpool actually go through January without any issues. Could you believe it? Could you believe it? But look, Crystal Palace in this game carved out about 5 chances that they failed to take. Michael Olise, I don't think he'll be a Crystal Palace player for a very long time. This kid is talented, but he should have scored. Some of the decision making wasn't really on point. You know, there was a goal that was I think that was the opportunity where Alisson saved. You got to give Alisson a lot of credit too. Yet again, keeping Liverpool in the game, keeping Liverpool ahead. You got to give credit to him. But look, the opportunities that Crystal Palace created for themselves, they had to take him, man. Olise, Jean-Philippe Mateta. You know, I could remember Olise testing Alisson as well with that chip. That was Olise, right? That back heel by Hudson-Edouard. It was just a weird game where Liverpool dominated and then allowed Crystal Palace all those chances, some defensive errors coming in. You know, Joel Matip with a mistake there, and that goal, 55th minute, where Liverpool were just carved apart, and Mateta teeing up Hudson-Edouard. Van Dijk running back. I couldn't believe. I was like, Van Dijk, bro, you look like you're struggling running back there. You see what I mean? So, 3-1 looks convincing, but it wasn't at all. It really, really wasn't. But even if it wasn't a pretty win, a win is definitely a win, and it does put Liverpool in a very good position to probably call it a title race again. You see what I'm saying? Because we just discussed it. Man City cannot afford to drop points here. You drop points here, you allow Liverpool back in. If City drop points again and Liverpool keep winning, it's a title race again. It's a title race again. But the way City were winning 12 games on the trot, it looked like points weren't going to get dropped again. But you see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Southampton, man. Southampton happens. Southampton happens. Look, Patrick Vieira wasn't so happy. And that's with that decision towards the end of the game. That penalty decision. Guys, that wasn't a penalty, man. That wasn't a penalty. That wasn't a penalty. Diego Jota bought that. He bought it. It wasn't a penalty. The ball had gone, and Jota literally ran into. He saw Guaita, changed course, and ran into Guaita. The referee got it right the first time. I think that was Kevin Friend, and went to the VAR, went to the mirror, not the mirror. Maybe he needs to look in the mirror, but went to the monitor and overturned his initial decision. And I think that was a wrong call. Fabinho stepped up, dispatched brilliantly. He's been in the goals lately. Did get a look in as well that he blasted over the net. But I think that was not a penalty. The Firmino offside should have been called. Ox goal should have not been a goal. This game should have probably ended in a draw as well. Let's keep it real. Let us keep it real. Liverpool got lucky in this game in terms of the decisions going their way. Not in terms of, like, you know, the goals that they scored or anything, but the decisions, because they did finish their chances, the 3 chances there. You got to give them credit for that. But questions got to be asked of the defense for sure. Definitely. Definitely. But look, Liverpool, the more dominant throughout the game, indeed. And in terms of the stats, 14 shots at goal, 7 on target, 57% of the ball. Crystal Palace with 8 shots, 5 on target. Credit to Alisson there, 43% of the ball. They could have got something from the game, but didn't take their chances. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. Fair enough. For Palace, their next game is against Hartlepool in the FA Cup. Then they do have Norwich coming up in the league and Brentford. For Liverpool, what do they have coming for them? Cardiff in the FA Cup, Leicester, Burnley, Norwich. They gotta win these games. They got West Ham coming up. The next 4 Premier League games, Liverpool lost 2 of those early on this season. The Leicester game and the West Ham game. Liverpool gotta turn that around, or else could stop talking about titles. You see what I'm saying? Let's see how they fare against Leicester. Let's see how they fare against West Ham, and then we'll talk. They do have Inter in the Champions League, but let's see how they fare in those games. EFL Cup final coming up against Chelsea as well. It's going to be a very, very tricky end to the season, and I can't wait for it, man. You see what I'm saying? So, Obi is saying, you are wrong. That was a clean penalty by FIFA's definition. That was, look, if we go back and we look at, that's where it comes in again. That's what I was talking about. Look at the replay and look at Jota. Change in direction last minute. Willfully going into the player. Come on. You see that as a ref? You say that's not a penalty. Get the hell out of here. You manufactured that. You see what I'm saying? That was not a penalty in my opinion. It wasn't a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. Not at all. Not at all. But guys, look. It's been a long one. Hour 52 minutes. I can't believe I still managed to get this live stream done. Really can't believe. And I don't have any more water left. So, done. Not going to continue. That's it for today's roundup. I think I've done well. I winged it. I really winged today's live stream because I usually have notes. And I didn't have any notes. This weekend I was like, I'm not writing down any notes. No notes at all. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy these games. And usually when I do watch over the highlights, I do take notes as well. I was like, I'm not taking any notes, man. Not taking notes. You know, so we'll get back in the swing of things when the Premier League comes back in February, the second week of February. But now it's time to shift the focus to the African Cup of Nations, International Football World Cup qualifiers. And I'll try to, talk some club content in between, you know what I mean, about the title race and all that kind of stuff. FA Cup, talk about that Club World Cup as well. But right now the focus is definitely international football, man. So, look. Big up to everybody who came through today. AD744, Barrio Malotelli. I saw that Balotelli got called up to the Italian national team again. Wow. And I saw him being linked with a move to Newcastle, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what happens. Big up to the boy Obi for dropping a super chat today. Appreciate that. Big up to Robert for coming through. Wade Nelson for coming through. Agunzi LFC. Everybody who came through and smashed up the thumbs up button, do appreciate it, man. It was a rough night. I should have been done with this stream a long time ago, but I did run into some technical difficulties. So hopefully the audio was on point during this stream. I'll continue to listen and try to tweak it to the best I could and get it back to the way it was. Maybe I need to watch a couple videos and get it back to the way it was. But, I've been having some technological failures lately where my laptop screen broke. I got my laptop hooked up to the TV monitor right now, so the TV is my monitoring my laptop. Thank God I don't have to spend the money to buy a new one right now, so I'll have to replace that in the future, but not right now, man. These MacBooks are not cheap at all, and I didn't have Apple Care on it, and that's a mistake I made. No Apple Care. I could have got it repaired. Maybe pay a couple $100, get it repaired, but no Apple Care, man. So next time I'm not gonna make that mistake at all. So you right there, you don't go nowhere. You, Mr. Jallo Football Bantaba, don't go nowhere. I don't know if you saw my email. I think I did hit you up on the email, right? You don't go to sleep. Don't go anywhere. I need to talk to you. I gotta talk to you. Let me check my email and see if you replied. You don't go nowhere. You know, you know what I'm saying? Let me double check this. You didn't get my email. Check your email. Check your email. I don't know if you have me on I don't know if you have Twitter, but don't go anywhere, bro. You need to check your email, get back at me, and we need to talk. We need to talk about Gambia. We need to talk about Gambia, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do it right now. Not during this live stream, but I want to talk to you, bro. Hit me up on an email. Follow me on Twitter, Dominic Rich FC. You're a Liverpool fan, you told me. You know, you could come on the channel in the future as well. But we need to talk. As a matter of fact, since you're here, I don't know if you could talk right now, bro. I don't know if you could talk. I don't know if you could talk right now, but we need to talk, bro. We got to talk. Hit me up on the email, like right now, and I'll send you a link, and we gotta talk. Okay? So I'm gonna end this live stream. Let me see if my boy Jallo Football would hit me up, and we talk about Gambia. Hit me up, bro. We got to do this like right now, bro. I don't have a lot of time before the next Gambian game against Cameroon. We need to talk briefly. It won't take long. Maybe 10 minutes the most. I got to go to sleep, you know, but it's very important that we talk. Check your email. Let me double check to make sure I did send you an email out. Let me see. Sent. No, I didn't actually email you. Did I? I did send out an email, but did I send out an email? I think I was supposed to send you an email. But hit me up on Twitter, though. Hit me up on Twitter. Definitely hit me up on Twitter at Dominic Rich FC. We need to talk, bro. You know what I mean? So, definitely. Dominic Rich FC on Twitter. Dominic Rich FC, the email. I'm gonna send you an email though. But guys, look, thanks for tuning in. I gotta get some rest. But appreciate the love, appreciate the support. And we'll be back for match week 24 preview of the Premier League. But until then, we'll be talking international football and everything else. So Jallo Football, I'm gonna message you now. I'm going to email you now. But if you could hit me up on Twitter, I appreciate that, bro. So, guys, thanks for tuning in to another one. Until next time, peace out. Rich Squad. Peace.